Hello everyone, I'm Gabriel. This is the underachiever. I'm sorry for the last week I didn't post anything because I was supposed to have an interview with a surprise guest on this show, and he's really cool. I really want you to see what this guy has to say about his work, about his life. He's really cool. I met him in person here in Brazil. He's from Britain and all, but he was in a rural area in there and last week, so cell phone was not enough for us to have a conversation with a quality audio, and so the video was perfect, but his other cell phone was good with the audio and bad with the video, so we had two options and it didn't work. But anyway, we set up a new date and he's going to be in the cities, and then we'll be able to talk. He can borrow a laptop or a better cell phone to do this. He dropped his cell phone in a lagoon or something like that, and the audio was really bad, though the video was good. Anyway, today we're going to talk about, it feels, I gotta be honest, it feels like losing a father. I know this feeling because I lost my father when I was 19. And also, fun fact, my father was born in the same year as Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, we're talking about the Prince of Darkness here. As you can see, I'm kind of a heavy metal fan. All styles of heavy metal. Yeah, even black, true Norwegian metal. But anyway, this doesn't come to the occasion. This doesn't fit the occasion, right? Anyway, my dad was 60 years old, exactly 60 years old when he departed from this life. I was 19, my sister was 18, and Ozzy, my father hated Ozzy, and my father even hated the Beatles. Imagine liking Ozzy. I mean, there were a few songs of the Beatles he liked, but he was a kind of a Puritan man, and Ozzy was the complete opposite, and that's why my father didn't like him as an influence over me, right? And my sister, because we used to come home from school and watch the Osbourne and see Kelly and Jack and stuff, and Cher and Ozzy doing all those crazy things but it was so much fun to watch and watch them grow. And nowadays Jack and Kelly are very intelligent young adults. I don't even know if I can say young adults. They're already my age or a year older. I'm 35. I think they're 36, 37. Might be wrong by a few years, but doesn't matter. They're intelligent. Jack is a present father for his family now because he had an example from his father, right? And you know what I hate the most is when I talk to people about Ozzy. They say, "Oh, he didn't sing that good," or "Oh, he spent his whole life using drugs." And that comes from a lot of Christians I know. And to be honest with you, I think Ozzy Osbourne was so much more of a Christian than maybe all of the Christians I know together. Yeah, because imagine this, man. He makes his last show 2 weeks before he dies. And every single pound and pence he got from that show, they got from that show, right? All of those artists got from that show. It was 180 million, I think. And they delivered right to charity doors, right? And if that's not something to admire about him, and just think that he was a junkie until the end of his days, which is such a massive lie. Because anyway, I don't even want to continue on with this subject because it makes me so angry that people are so blind to see a good soul when they see one. They worship really bad fucking people, like Lula and Bolsonaro and Trump and Putin, and people love to worship those assholes, right? People they would lick their boots if they could. But when they see a good soul, like Sharon always points out about Ozzy, he was a very vulnerable person because he was always honest. He was always telling the truth, no matter if the truth would end up embarrassing him, right? It didn't matter for him because all he wanted was to be honest with everyone, not only his fans. And it really bothers me, man, that people love to worship those assholes and they cannot feel empathy for a good soul when they see one. It's like we have lost our ability to recognize when someone is a good person, a truly good person, you see? And yeah, losing Ozzy for me it was the same feel. I'm telling you, it was the same feeling I had when I lost my father, because and it's kind of funny because Ozzy outlived, even though he did a lot of drugs and so on, he outlived my father. Oh, but genetics and all, yeah, man, of course, genetics really does play a huge role in our lives. It controls your body and whatnot. But he didn't drink or smoke, and Ozzy still outlived him for, I think it was 16 years. Yeah. Ozzy was 76. My father was 60, exactly 60 when he died. So anyway, there is no point to be made. I just wanted to pay my tribute to Ozzy. And another thing I wanted to mention is that Sharon recently had to explain to people that War Pigs is not an endearing song about wars. I mean, come on. Have people lost the ability to read as well, to interpret the text? Because this is unbelievable that Sharon has to come public to explain people that War Pigs is a song against war. It is so fucking confusing for me. It makes me so angry. Why the hell did I spend my whole life studying, learning how to read and write and make complex calculations? What is the point in that? I don't even have a word for this. It's just unbelievable that people cannot read a simple lyrics. Anyway, this is not a video to rant and to be angry, even though I already did it. It was just to pay my tribute to Ozzy, because he was a good soul, he was a good man, a present father, a present husband, and to me, he was so much better as a Christian than a lot of Christians that I know that are all the time criticizing all the people that are not like them, all the time judging people. Like, is that your idea about what Jesus would do? Oh, but I'm not Jesus. Yeah, at least that's a good confession, man. You're not Jesus, so don't pretend you're like him, because you know you're not. You're judging people from their backs. You're talking smack from people's backs, talking about everyone you know. And if this is you, man, you really need to follow Ozzy's example, because he was more like Jesus than most Christians I know. Anyway, rest in peace, Ozzy. I hope Sharon, Kelly, and Jack can find comfort and find comfort in themselves and in their families to deal with their loss. I offer my sincere condolences. I screwed up. Anyway, I love you, Sharon. I love you, Kelly. I love you, Jack. Thank you for supporting Ozzy over his last few years. It was beautiful to see that you were supporting him so much, and thank you, Sharon, for bringing the last of him to a wonderful show that we all witnessed. It was beautiful, and also his funeral was so nice to see that Birmingham all got together and everybody was in the streets chanting together and making a homage to Ozzy. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.